Welcome to The Word on Fearless Networking. I'm Janelle Moorhead, guest hosting for Ken P. Marsh. This is where we've combined biblical principles and fearless networking principles to help your new business development, job, career search, and personal development, all through Christian networking. Our biblical principle for today comes from Romans 12:10. That's the NIV version. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourself. Fearless Networking Principle comes from the excerpt from Chapter 1 of Fearless Networking, second edition. It's my philosophy. Fearless networkers focus first on helping or serving the other person they are striving to make a connection with before jumping into their spiel. Your spiel being your sales talk or 30-minute, we don't want to have a 30-minute elevator talk, a 30-second elevator talk. So that before jumping into your spiel is a sales talk or 30-second elevator talk. That is wonderful. You should have always a 30-second elevator speech or sales talk, but don't do that before making the connection and getting to know the person. Wonderful fearless networking principle. We're happy to have today in our studio again Mr. Jim Boy with us, and he is on with Miss Joanna Sanchez. Joanna is the actress and producer and coach at Joanna Sanchez Entertainment. So
hello.
Welcome to our listening audience, Joanne Sanchez. Joanne.
Thank you. I'm
awesome.
Very excited to be here.
Well, we're excited for you too as well, and Jim Boy, you guys work together.
Hey, Joanna.
Hey.
Well, Joanna, you've heard our biblical principle and the fearless networking principle. Tell us how those principles have assisted you in your business as an actress, producer, and coach, and networking online and face-to-face.
Well, I always believe that you've got to have the principle to add value to other people's lives. And that's what I'm very, very rooted and centered in God, and everything that I do. You know, I believe that desire is God's whispering. And
Amen.
When people have a dream, they have to be able to follow it. And I not only do I teach, you know, I'm out there doing my own dream, and I help guide people to achieve their dreams, because nobody gets there alone.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, you know, I'm far beyond just being an actress, producer, and a coach. I really help guide people to get where they need to go.
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. I like what you said. No one can get to their destiny by their own merit. No man is an island.
No, absolutely not. You know, and
yes.
I see out here, you know, where I am in Hollywood, you know, so many people are just, I've got to get this role. And God has a plan.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and rejection really is protection. And when you don't get a certain role, there's a better one coming.
Yes.
You know? And I have always found that. And through my experience, you know, I have uplifted so many people to continue going on. I had this one student who was in a huge depression, and he came from the streets, and he had a very bad background.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he said, Joanne, you know, nothing, you know, my grandma died, this one died, I have nobody, and I nurtured him, and I said, you know, you've got to stay in there, and I worked with him on his craft, and oh my God, next thing you knew, he's starring in a film. Next thing you knew, he's on this show and flying to England to do this movie. I mean, it was, you know, just hang in there. You
That's
know, desire
phenomenal.
is God's whispering. I really believe that.
Right. That's awesome. I like what you said. Rejection is protection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is phenomenal.
He knows what's best.
He does.
That's right.
He
That's
does.
Right. And we've got to stand back and allow it too.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about, tell the listening audience about Joanna Sanchez Entertainment, and what are the 3 to 4 services you provide?
Well, first I want to say how much I love Texas actors, and
Okay.
I love Texas law enforcement. I love coming to Houston.
Okay.
I enjoy it so much. I've coached around the world. They flew me to Belgium. I've coached in New York and L.A. and all around the country. Houston has a very special place in my heart. I have met everybody that I have worked. I think there's tremendous talent there, and
It is.
Yes, and I love coming and helping to nurture that.
Wonderful.
And so I'm coming to Houston September 22nd and 23rd.
Okay.
And I'm doing privates and semi-privates, and I'm doing a class for the law enforcement.
Okay.
Yes, and in acting, if you believe it, we'll believe it. So when you play a certain role, you know, especially out in the law enforcement field, if they don't believe what they're doing undercover, they're in trouble. Do you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So I know that they're out there doing great work, and I want to really help and be a part of that, so that they can strengthen and even do better work.
Exactly. Awesome.
And the same with the actors. So anyway, so I do, and I'm also producing films.
Okay.
And I've been able to hire a lot of the actors that I have trained, which has been a really big joy for me. And so I also have a film that I produced that's going to be in the Gulf Coast Film Festival next weekend, which is very exciting.
Okay.
So all my my talents kind of merge into one. One of my favorite stories I quickly want to tell is I had a student that was up for a lead in a film, and I coached her, and she booked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she found a guy in my class that she said, wow, Joey would be really great to be in this movie. So she brought him to the director, and he got it. And the director called me, and he said, I can't believe what you do with actors. He said, can I take your class? Because when I'm directing actors, I want to get the results that you get. And so the director came in my class, and he hired me to be in his movie, too.
Oh, my
So it was
goodness.
like, that's such a great thing where everybody's helping each other, and, we did a great project.
That's phenomenal.
And he played a priest in the film, the director. So I trained him to do that, So, so I it's kind of like my motto is share the dream.
Okay.
Everybody working together to really get where they need to go.
That's awesome. Well, and you've shared with us about your acting classes. There is a student that, I want to bring up. Her name is Kayla Valadez.
I'm in love.
You're in love.
Totally in love, yes. I'm the head of her fan club.
Okay.
She is one adorable package.
Okay.
And with great parents, and a wonderful, talented sister.
Uh-huh.
And really, what I love, actually, I taught a big class yesterday, and I said, okay, everybody, we've got to adapt the Kenna principle. And they're like, what does that mean? I said, Kenna goes on auditions, afterwards, lets it go.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't become obsessed, am I going to get it? She forgets about it.
Wow.
And that, it's like, let go, let God, and that's what she does.
Right.
With her little self. And so I'm talking to all my adults, and they're saying, yes, we have to work. We have to become like Kenna. It really happened yesterday in my class. I told them, because, we get so attached when we go out on an audition. And I'm guilty of it, too. When I really want something sometimes, I say, okay, if it's meant to be, I have to stop and be like Kenna.
Right, exactly. And I'm going to ask you this before we bring Jim Boy in.
Yes.
What's your favorite Bible verse?
It's funny. It's a little bit aside of that. I really believe strongly it's how you treat the person in front of you.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you can study the Bible, you can be as religious, be as into God, but it's really how you do unto others, It's really how you treat the person in front of you.
Exactly.
How you would want to be treated, and to put them first, and to say whatever they're going through, or however, everybody's got challenges, and to be patient with one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Well, I'm going to direct this question to Jim Boy. Now, he's on the line, and he's been one of your students.
I love Jim.
That's wonderful. That is
do.
wonderful. I love the relationship you guys have with your students. Jim Boy, as a student of Joanna's, tell us about your experience in her class, in her acting class, and what were one or two professional tips that you've learned from her?
I can't say one or two. There's thousands.
Thousands, okay.
She's been super with me. Mm-hmm. She shows how to deliver it in a way that it's just believable. Whatever role she puts me in, she'll make me switch roles in the middle of everything,
Okay.
And I have to change gears.
Mm-hmm.
Now for police officers, and that's what one of the things that she's fixing to do is talk to some police officers and bring them into our acting class, because I worked as an undercover police officer.
Okay.
And you don't need, as in that role, you can't really mess up.
Right.
If you do, it can be very dangerous.
Right.
And I wish I'd met Joanna a long time ago.
Wow.
But I retired back in '97, so it's been a while.
That's awesome. I would love to see you in action.
Thank you. Well, there's some videos. I mean, I'd love to have you come watch, but there's also some videos on Joanna Sanchez Entertainment.com that wonderful Andy did for us. Andy Valadez is an amazing marketing guy, and he just has done so much for me, and I'm so grateful.
Well, I scared you one time, didn't I, Joanna?
Well,
we're a lot of time.
Right. We're going to have to take a look at what was that website again?
Joanna Sanchez Entertainment.com.
Okay.
And I want to give my phone number real quick, 310-801-2561.
Okay.
310-801-2561. I'd love to talk to people that are interested in coming and studying with me.
Well, I think phones might be ringing off the hook.
Yay!
You know, like you said, there's a lot of talented people here in Houston. Well, we're so glad to have you on the show, and just very excited for the work that you're doing. And we look forward to, the productions and so forth. And I'm going to go on that website and take a look at it. And it's just such a joy to have Jim Boy here as well, and Andy Valadez in the studio. Want you guys to hang tight while we make our special announcements. If you stand by. We have new sponsor, GoGo Business Communications, intelligent marketing for a digital world. That's gogo-biz.com for all your printing needs, printing on demand, graphic design, signage, marketing materials, wide format, blueprints, books, safety and training manuals. That's gogo-biz. That's gogo-biz.com, or call 713-275-GOGO. That's 713-275-4646. You'll get 10% off when mentioning 100.7 FM. New peer advisory, B2B referral sharing groups forming at HoustonBusinessExecutives.com. Then you have new B2C groups forming at HoustonLead.com. That's HoustonLead. LEAD.com, in Houston.ning.com, in Houston networking events in Houston metro area. Listen to Everything Networking with Eric Stanley and Mitchell Frum. Houston networking news, 7 events around Houston metro area. Listen to Tough Talk Radio Monday through Friday. Go to toughtalkradionetwork.com. If you want to be a guest or host on the show, go to Tony at toughtalkradionetwork.com and let him know that Ken P. Marsh sent you. We've got great books. Entrepreneurship by Sharon Jenkins. Can You Hear Me Now? The Fine Art of Effective Listening by Olayinka Joseph. Bonnie Carpe, Without Notice. Life Can Change in a Moment. Order your book at bonniecarpe.com. Defeating Debt by Chris Kidd. That's chriskidd.com. Whatever You Do, Brand You by Michelle Harton at whateveryoudobrandyou.com. Lifted by Dr. Allison N. Wiley at BeLiftedToday.org. 30 minutes free coaching, RashimaFacebook.com. The Natural Weight Loss Coach. Just mentioned Ken P. Marshall, 100.7. Trial by Fire, starring J.R.